Welcome to P3 Radio.
The monkey only dances as good as the guy grinding the organ handle.
Pachow! 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 Pachow!
This is ridiculous.
Truck goes to the lake.
My daddy's wiener is big as a Coke can.
Cool story, bro.
Hey, genius, it's 2 p.m. Central.
Morning! Why are you shaking like that?
PG3 Radio.
Here's your host, Josh Riley,
I got a boner right now.
Richard Mullican.
Our listeners probably want to hear more about this rat coat.
It's showtime! It's showtime! It's showtime!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of P3 Radio. I'm Richard Mullican, joined by my co-host and best friend, Josh Briley. Say hey, Josh.
You are back, Jack. You are finally back with the Them lungs must be unburnt now.
They're getting better. You know, I know we talk a lot about bronchitis on this show.
oh, yes. We actually
Bronchitis.
there you go. We actually had an article published in WebMD on the subject.
I know we talk a lot about it because I had bronchitis and everything. But, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. That is some of the hardest bullshit medical shit to kick ever.
What about AIDS?
Well,
how about like leprosy?
when you put it like that.
Polio?
Well,
That was conquered, but could you have conquered it?
like myself.
Absolutely not.
No. All right, let me rephrase that then. Bronchitis is one of the hardest things to cure. It feels like it takes forever, but it's curable.
So you
one
have
of the hardest curable things. Yeah, it's just
we're like the medicine men of bronchitis. We have found it.
Antibiotics and time, I guess, heals all wounds.
It does.
That's a good medicine. Laughter, good laughter to get your get it all out. But dude, I am still coughing crap up. Like, it's not as dark yellowish and Nickelodeon slimish as it was, but I'm still like, you could probably hear it in my voice. Now, granted, we've recorded all these shows within like a week and a half. Like, the show you're hearing now is only about a week removed from when I had bronchitis, like full-blown bronchitis.
So we're at like 20 bronchitises right now.
Yeah.
If you're keeping score at home.
I got bronchitis.
Had bronchitis, ma'am. Had bronchitis. But no, man, just doing that just now, and like I was on the verge of coughing. It takes forever to get rid of bronchitis.
23.
I love how, speaking of our guests we're going to have on today, BT.
So we're having a guest.
Yeah, we're going to have BT, Brian Trammell, on.
Awesome.
He does Shooting the Shiznit that you can catch. I think it's every Monday that comes out on the podcasting app of your choice. The same way you find ours, you can find his. More wrestling based is what his podcast is. Really cool, fun listen. They do another show on there we were going to talk to him about called What the Fuck? WTF. I think they do it on Wednesdays.
I think this one, maybe Thursdays.
But it's really fun, and it's a fun listen, and
it's kind of like a oddities of the wrestling and MMA world news. It's What the Fuck News Desk. It's really entertaining.
But he had actually said something about y'all talked about bronchitis a lot in there. Does Richard still have bronchitis? And I was like, and then you were like, I think he has bronchitis. I was like, I still have a touch of bronchitis.
No, I said he has bronchitis? ?
Yeah, I was like, I still have a touch of bronchitis, a little bit of bronchitis. But dude, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Well, maybe, especially if I had to fight him. I know his oxygen
that way
would be
you
low.
Get him at a weakened state.
Yeah, I hate it when people say that. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Why not? It's your worst enemy. You want him to have good
my
things?
nemesis.
I want him to
nemesis.
I want him to get a promotion at work and really feel power underneath his
I want
feet.
him to excel as a human being. No one says that.
Nobody. Just so BT is, and we'll let him know about how you're doing too. How's the toe feeling?
It's a little stove up still sometimes whenever I bend it a certain way, but it's all good, man.
Stove up.
That ain't country. I'll kiss your ass.
I tell you, man, we'll give BT those updates as well when we have him on here in just a few minutes.
He was worried about your turf toe.
Yeah, well, I think he just said no toe update. You know what? What's weird about the turf toe thing? Like,
it really wasn't turf toe.
I still think it's gout, but I don't know. I don't know if it's turf toe or gout.
We'll just call it turf toe.
It's like a pimple or a boil. Which one is it? You know?
Well, I'm not a dermatologist. I don't know either.
You're not a You're shitting me right now.
I went to school for like 2.5 years.
I've been going to you with all my medical needs for skin, and you're just now laying this bullshit on me.
That was just foreskin problems. What are you talking about?
Does foreskin look a little weird to you?
Is this a weird amount of dick butter? Is this a weird amount of dick butter for a normal human being?
What's the healthy amount?
Do I got dickitis right now?
I just thought you like looked at my dick, so happy birthday, Josh. Why'd you put a pasty on it? But no, man, that went weird really fast. But I tell you what,
they're just jokes. Are you uncomfortable?
No, I'm fine. I'm closer. I'm getting
Are you
whipping my dick
turning
out.
into a beautiful little snowflake? Look at him float in the sky.
Closer, I
love him.
Whipping my dick out while I do this show. I mean,
I'm super uncomfortable right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I knew how uncomfortable you got a couple of weeks ago. We'll talk to BT.
We're not surfing the web looking at the shit. We're just talking. We're having fun. We're not like trying to look at their feature film.
No, I wasn't trying to show you that either. It just kind of.
You were showing me her fucking Wikipedia.
No, I was
the
showing
goddamn
you a picture
biography that
I was
she
showing
was
you
in.
the picture of the person, and the second picture was graphic, and our search engine does not have any filters on it apparently.
Not graphic. Graphic ain't the word for it, buddy. That's not even in that.
We're talking about Buck
absolutely Angel. Disgusting.
Yeah, it shocked you. It ruined your life for like. I
had burnt life for like 5 hours.
I could see the atomic bomb going off in your head, and like, what's your fuck? what's your fuck? And I was like, oh shit, I might have broke him. I might have ruined him.
He's got runt brain. How you unruin a brain? What does runt mean, Siri?
Maybe we should ask BT all the questions that we were going to ask Dr. Steve a couple of weeks ago, just to confuse the shit out of him.
Let's rib him. Let's ask him like the leftover Double J questions and shit. So when you founded TNA, wait a minute.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, and we were going to be right back, and we're going to talk to BT on this episode of. I almost said shooting the shiznit. We're going to talk about BT on this episode of P3 Radio. So stay tuned. Josh, who are we going to hear from this week?
Let's go with Wine of the Month Club.
When you go shopping for wine, do you look at the labels? Do you stare at the price and wonder if the wine is worth the expensive tag? Well, stop it, because Wine of the Month Club has you covered. Every month, Wine of the Month Club is going to send you 2 bottles of high-quality wine right to your front door.
And what better way to say I'm thinking of you than a subscription to the original Wine of the Month Club for a friend or a sweetheart. Each month they'll be reminded of your thoughtfulness and will receive the monthly wine letter and newsletter binder. Recipes, wine knowledge, and great wine, and the opportunity to get more of their favorites is at hand. Give with confidence and joy, knowing that you're a part of the original Wine of the Month Club.
By the way, there are no dues, no fees, no hidden charges. Cancel anytime with no obligation. Just pay no more than $23.96 plus shipping for 2 great bottles of wine. Go there now. Sign up by visiting our link, tinyurl.com/P3wine. That's tinyurl.com/P3wine. The Wine of the Month Club, the original wine club since 1972.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the P3 Radio Hotline, you know him from the What the Fuck podcast. You know him from Shooting the Shiznit. He's our buddy, friend of the show, BT, Coach BT, Brian Trammell. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I love that music. You know, I did request it, but I had to do Eye of the Tiger. I don't know why I thought of it because, you know, I tell you why. It's because I used to, when I was working out all the time, I had to get the Eye of the Tiger to keep my diet good. And, you know, I've been listening to you guys, and Josh is talking about, you know, what was he saying, cauliflower or horse shit like that for his pizza crust. Yeah. So I'm proud of you, Josh. I am, but I'm saying it's horse shit. But, yeah.
Well, it is a bit of horse shit, and I'm going to tell you something. We found a new pizza crust today. Before I came over here.
Talk to him.
I'm going to tell you something.
It's made out of bread.
No, it's not. It's made out of that canned chicken that you get from Walmart or wherever.
Yeah.
Eggs
Oh, wow, yeah.
and cheese. That is the base of your crust. And I'm going to tell you something. My old lady made a pizza. Goddamn, dude. It was just as good as something from Domino's or wherever.
He had to say goddamn, didn't he? He had to say that. That
Yeah.
must be good. Now, what did I make? I've made mine out of cauliflower and mozzarella before, and it's actually homemade ones are really good. A lot of fucking trouble. I tell you what, I found a new crust too. It's a fucking thick crust, Chicago crust. That's
Yep.
what I know.
Deep dish.
I'm a diabetic too. I like listening to y'all's stories, like personal stories, and that's why I call your podcast Not Even Wrestling, with a little wrestling in it every once in a while. But I like your story, your wife. I kind of thought about that the whole week. You talking about your wife and thinking that, I've been a diabetic since so 91 or 92, something like that. And don't take care of myself as much as I should, but I do take insulin. I check my sugar like 4 times a day, blah, blah, blah. But it does. I used to be, I used to be in some great shape. And then about 4 years ago, I started working from home. And guys, man, that makes you the laziest fuck in the world. So
I imagine if I just rolled out of bed and didn't have to get dressed or do anything and just go straight to work from there, I'd probably be like Gilbert Grape's mother, pull me out of the house or burn it down.
I've gained 50 pounds. Now, I was at 227. So I was at 227 or 225, sometimes 232. So like a 5-pound thing. I was right there, muscle, the whole 9 yards. I started working for DirecTV. It was 4 years ago. I got on the scale. I'm 272.8.
Wow.
Get on up.
So that's what I stay in pajamas 24/7 unless we go to Walmart or actually go in the place to eat. If we go through a drive-through, I still don't put pants on.
But if we go to Walmart, I put on my good pajamas.
I put on
That's
the good,
right. I
the
put
good
my-
sweatpants.
Here's what's pathetic, guys. I have the workout pants, what I call the workout pants.
Yeah.
And I haven't wore jeans but one time in the last 4 years because I can't get in that motherfucker.
I'm going to be honest. If I could get away with it, I'd just wear fucking karate pants all the time. That would be my thing.
No shoes and dare a motherfucker.
Yeah, just wear that and like a chachi of whatever I wanted, insert logo.
Hey, I'm the luckiest man alive too. I was all trim and in shape and got me a good wife, and she still thinks I'm sexy. Well, she still says she thinks I'm sexy, but she may be imagining, the fireman down the road or something like that. Who knows? But that's a cool thing. At least she thinks, I'm still sexy.
Dude, I got down to 230 pounds. And I'm 6'3", so I'm a tall drink of water, as my grandmother used to say. But I am.
Then she'd ask you to get her some water.
Yeah, you gonna get us a glass of water? I ain't thirsty. Well, get me one. But dude, I got down to like 230, and I looked like people were like, "Do you have the HIV? What's going on?" And
you got that full body karate.
And we started working on this house, like renovating it and getting stuff done, and like all my free time went to here, and of course the diet went to hell too. Dude, I've probably gained 75 pounds since then in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I dropped to 197. I was like and my head was like a fucking bobblehead. I had to start gaining weight and gain another 20 pounds just, before I got married. But I had dropped, I was at 197 to 203. It's close to 60 pounds. But, what we talked about, you actually gain weight, and usually when you gain it back, you gain more. The biggest I ever been, though, is like 280, and I'm only 5'11", so, it was almost – I looked like you could probably roll me around,
Right. I mean, I realized after about 3 months that 230 was probably the lowest I was going to get because, my dick weighs 90 pounds. So,
oh, yeah.
So you're
That's
never –
my dad's gimmick.
Unless I'm unless I'm going to call a rabbi and get some foreskin cut off, I'm not going to lose much more. Man, that is a weird thing. Okay, so we were talking before we came on here, and you do a strictly wrestling podcast. We talked about Shooting the Shiznit, What the Fuck, and you've got a couple more there too. You're burning the candle at both ends when it comes to podcasting. Do you ever have that feeling like, hey, I want to do one where we just don't even talk about wrestling?
You know, that's funny because I think I actually said this on the first episode that I was on. But when I started back shooting the shiznit, you know, I was doing it with Wrestling Right Online, and then we quit. And it took, I don't know, 6 or 7 years before I actually brought it back. I was going to bring it back, and I was just going to do it was going to be friends of mine. So it could be wrestlers. It could be, you know, you, whatever. You know, I was going to get my I already listed the people. I want to talk to one of my school teachers. I want to talk to my Sunday school teacher. I want to talk to one of my best friends of all time, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, you know, I'm going to run out of guests. And so, and I know a lot of people in the wrestling business, and a lot of people know my name. So I might as well capitalize on that. I started one episode a week. Now we put out 2. We've been very, very, very consistent with it. We put out one on Tuesday, or before Tuesday at 10 a.m. No, I'm sorry. Before Tuesday at 12 midnight. And then we put out another one before Friday at 10 a.m. And we have been and I think that's why it continues to grow. I was kind of scared going into the third year. You know, we just finished the second year going into the third. I was kind of scared we'd start losing people, but we're up about 8%. Where last year we almost doubled our downloads. You know, that's how from year to year. So I didn't expect a lot, but yeah, we do. I do the Shooting the Shiznit show where I bring, you know, whoever on and just shoot the shit with them. And then we do, Was It Really That Good with Gene Jackson? And we talk about an old show. And you know how we all romance, you know, how good World Class was or how good whatever was. Right. We actually look at it now and say, was it really that good? Then we do, Lance and I do Cool Kids Countdown, which we just did our 50th episode of that, which includes the What the Fuck, which is 10 crazy stories every month that's in wrestling. And we didn't think we could find 10, but we have a hard problem sometimes narrowing it down to 10. And then me and Lance started one 3 months ago, which has done really well for us. It's called Observing the Observer. And, you know, Dave Meltzer, we've been friends with Dave Meltzer since, I've been knowing Dave since 86 or 87. And so what we do is take an old an old issue, which we got, you can just download them if you subscribe. And we look at an old pay-per-view. We watch it, and we see whether Dave was right or not, or what he thought of it back then compared to what we think about it now. So it's kind of fun. It's been real successful. And then Lance is going to probably have a show before the end of summer where he just interviews somebody. He takes a month. He took July last year, and we did really well, and he just took February. And there's a promotion in Chicago called Freelance. And so Freelance Lance, you know, hey, I thought that was funny. So we went ahead with that. We just got people from that promotion. Did real well last month, too, you know, above what we did last year. So, yeah, it's just wrestling, man. I've thought about doing an episode where it's like, call it, this show has nothing to do with wrestling. That was going to be the name of the show. But I haven't done it yet.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Narrowing the margin now.
Well, I mean, we always come back to wrestling on this show. It seems like, you know, we'll throw a wrestling term in there, but we stray away from wrestling a lot on here. And 9 times out of 10, Josh will send me a message and say, hey, what do you think about this? And, you know, we'll laugh and we'll joke around. But, you know, we always get back to wrestling, but we find ourselves kind of getting bored after a while of talking. And there is an opportunity, I want to say, maybe coming up. We don't know. We haven't announced it yet. Hopefully when this airs in 3 weeks, we'll know. But we won't know. We won't know until then if that opportunity has come up or not, or if it's fell by the wayside. But it was going to be basically a 1-hour show somewhere talking about wrestling. And, you know, we were
Chatterbait? Is that where it is on Chatterbait?
Yeah, we're going to do it with our dicks out holding a bottle of Spunk Lube. We're going to see if they'll help us.
Oh, you're talking about my sponsors now. You know, every time I come on a podcast, I got to say I'm sponsored by SpunkLube.com and BlueChew.com, and both of those go incredibly well together. So, yeah.
Well, wait next week. Well, this will already be airing. See how many times you hear Pro Shingle mentioned when you talk to Dustin Starr. he won't hear this. He doesn't listen to my stuff. I love Dustin though, but he will mention Pro Shingle about 27 times. But I totally
that's his bronchitis.
I talked to him tomorrow. So whenever I'll be talking to him tomorrow, he'll be on my show on the. So if you listen to this, you want to look up Shooting the Shizit and want to hear another episode with Dustin Starr. He'll be on the show on the 19th. So if this is the 19th, so it'll be it. We're going to be talking exactly what you guys talked about. Like I said, I hadn't listened to that episode yet, just for I didn't want to. Well, I got a couple questions because I listen to you guys every week.
Yeah.
So my main, a couple of things that I come on here for that I agreed to do is number one, Josh.
Yes, sir.
I hate to bring this up, but have you bought the fucking pants or not? I just gotta know.
That's a negative.
No, I haven't. I haven't yet, and only because he's kind of particular about the brand and whatnot, and I'm gonna really research whenever I do buy the pants. And I'm going to find him a good color of those brands and all that, and it'll be glorious. We'll make a thing of it actually, and probably do a show.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, to be honest with you. It's been a few weeks now. I will say this: I did get in some good shots on Josh, so I feel like I took it out on his ass on accident.
Ribs and chest.
Like. That night
you hit me at least 10 times in the ribs, several shots in the back, and then you fucking performed some kind of voodoo to my fucking sternum, trying to wake me up. That's what you said. I ain't never rubbed a motherfucker's chest and tried to collapse his fucking diaphragm, trying to wake somebody up.
Women's boobs. Wait, no, I didn't. You can't do that these days.
No.
He was probably like, this motherfucker ripped my pants. What's something that'll last with his ass? I'll fuck his diaphragm.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. That was the most scared I have ever been, and like for Josh. For the most part, it has always been like if Josh and me have some drinks, he might get a little threaten to hit me with a wrestling ring or want to wrestle with me outside. Fun stuff. But to see somebody that is unconscious, like laying in their front yard basically, and you're trying to get them up and you're like, dude, what is going on? I was scared to death that night, and like I panicked, and I did this thing that I was told that cops do to kind of make sure somebody's
right. Yeah, I listened to it. It was, but I feel like Josh. I bet he felt like shit for days. I felt sorry for him,
dude.
But
I called him a couple of times and was like, dude, are you okay? And he's like, my chest hurts, my back hurts, everything hurts right now. So imagine having a hangover and then feeling like somebody beat you with a 2x4.
I know what it feels like for those people that get in those blackout drunk like car wrecks, and then they don't remember the car wreck, but they wake up the next, oh my God,
it's like
that was pretty much
like
me.
That country song, 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I'm gonna put out crosses in your front yard this is where I got my ass beat. I should have died that night because Richard was about to leave me freezing on the front lawn. But
no.
I
mean, the good friend taking care of you. You gotta think about that. But you gotta buy those pants. That's bothering me. We might have to get. I'm thinking about maybe getting a GoMe fund going on.
I have mentioned that. I think
so
it was
that we can maybe get him, the whole suit, get him a track suit.
What's bad is I bought those pants from eBay. Like I haven't had them long, like a couple months, because I couldn't find them anywhere.
You need to send them back. They ain't worth a fuck.
They make these windsuit pants now out of that dry fit shit. And that dry fit is the most static clinging. If you want somebody
dry fit shit,
yes. If you want somebody to know what your dick and balls look like in a pair of pants, buy some of those dry fit pants. They will dry fit right to your ball area. And you're like, damn it, I got to have crotch room. And apparently I got to have more crotch room when I'm lifting a friend up into his house.
It's like the fucking modern day version of them. You remember I know you've seen old school pornos with people in them leisure pants or whatever.
I don't watch pornographic
material.
I'm
like
a Christian. So.
From the 70s, they'd have them leisure suit pants or whatever, and if the guy had like a Robert Fuller going on, it would always you could see everything.
Yeah.
So pretty much Dry Fit has brought that back.
God,
we got away from it for a while.
I don't know what I would do if I had Blue Chew and Spunk Lube as a sponsor, and I had to use those products, and I couldn't watch porn. I feel like it'd be a lot of dry hole walls and like holes in my drywall at home.
they don't force you to use the products, but you think about it. Why the hell wouldn't you? You know,
It'd just be like
mean,
buying a bazooka and leaving it sitting in the closet, not ever using it.
Honestly, I don't say this because they're my sponsor, and they would never hear what I'm going to say right now.
Because you're saying because they don't listen.
Lube,
we don't have viewers. We don't have listeners. Is that what you're saying?
No,
they're never going to hear this
they're
bullshit.
Not gonna find their way to listen to another.
No,
podcast.
I got you. Yeah.
Spunk Lube is the best fucking lube I have ever used. I mean, really, it's fun as hell, and it's best, and they do pay me. But and Blue Chew, if anyone has ED, or if you just how many times have we always said, man, I wish I had a Viagra, I'd wear it out, and you can. I mean, I know y'all say that all the time, but it's cheap now. Viagra used to be on. We're going to talk about Viagra on this, but it's not a wrestling.
No,
Viagra used to be on patent. When it's on patent, it's so many years, and it costs. What one pill was like $4 or $5 or more.
Right.
Now you can get a whole month's supply of the same products that's in Viagra or a Cialis. Is that how I think I said it Cialis, but Cialis, and it's like $4.99 a month. You just pay the shipping and handling for the first time. Use my promo code STS.
Well,
but no, I mean, guys, really, if you want to have fun, your wife is, it's just one of those things where you're just in a rut and you hadn't done it in a while, and you just go, let's spice it up. Damn, we've been together for 6 years, and we act like we was fucking 14 years old. I mean, not her being 14. Wait, that's kind of perverted there, but. All right, I felt like I was 18 and she was 14. No way.
Yeah. Well,
forget it. You know what I'm trying to say.
That's right on the verge of stats. That's fine. No, what I was going to say was, do you have
it's in Arkansas.
Not to have, and remind me to get back to R. Kelly in a minute, but do you have to have like a prescription for that? Like, not to make this sound like a big infomercial.
It does sound like an infomercial, but let me tell you. What happens is you actually do talk to a doctor. You fill out all this information. You have to put any prescriptions that you're using, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's emailed to the doctor. The doctor looks at something like if I had high blood pressure meds that I take, say he knew it was a side effect would mess with it, they wouldn't okay it with you. Now, so I wonder how they keep themselves from getting, there's probably some kind of thing that says the information I've given is,
right.
blah, blah, blah. Because, there's probably 16-year-old boys out there doing the best that they can to get, some for $4.99 some Viagra. So I wonder how they keep from doing that. But, yeah, that's the way. You don't ever have to have a doctor's. There's a bunch of companies doing this now. So I think they've been really great to us. I seen them at StarCast when I was there, and I just said, hey, blah, 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 just shook their hand and then emailed them after I got back and said, hey, y'all sponsored a lot of what kind of deal you got kind of thing. And so I did them a deal with just, my regular price, and they went with the hell. Who knows? Maybe they could have gave me 10 times the amount. But I just went with my, regular price for my advertising, and it's worked out for us, and they're good. They pay in advance and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's a good thing.
Well, I've heard of people, having to do if you have a erection for longer than 4 hours, go see a doctor. And it's like, you wonder if you took that and you're like, damn it, I'm going to have to go to the hospital right now. And this massive hard on, try to fit through the door with it and then tell them what's going on. But what's funny about that, that whole Viagra thing, Josh, how they found it, right? They were looking for a blood pressure medicine. And they were doing clinical, like those little blind placebo studies that they have to do to be FDA approved and stuff. Yeah. And everybody was coming back. It's like, I feel good. I have a massive erection almost all the time when I take this. So they just kind of stumbled upon it.
Literally.
Yeah, because guys were stumbling upon it. And man, I was I always wonder about what would happen if you went and got it and then you had that 4 hour hard on, you're sitting there with a stopwatch going 3:59.
This isn't
good. By the way, they put a needle in it. So there you go. If you want to take a chance for it lasting that long. I took a Viagra once and didn't think, I took a half of one before, recently. Right. Back in the day, somebody had some connections with the nurse. And so they give samples to all the office. You know, these drug reps always used to give samples. I don't know if they do that anymore, but I got like a half of one, and then I went to the lady's house, and I mean, I came back and I told my friend, I said, man. I said, we went at it for like an hour and 15 minutes and blah, 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 blah. It really would. I didn't feel anything. He goes, an hour and 15 minutes? My God.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, yeah. And then we went at it again. I guess it did work. At first, I didn't even think it worked because, and then I did have to climb out that woman's window, too, because her husband got home early.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking true story. That's a shoot.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'm a piece of shit.
No, that's just funny.
No comment.
It's like I can imagine in like a TV sitcom, you would have fell out of the window and like, oh, I broke my dick. You know, like that would be.
Oh, I had a scratch across my face, and I had to go to the work the next day. And there was this old woman. She was like 65 years old. She came up to me and said, "What's that scratch for?" And I just told her. I said, I was with the married woman last night. We was having sex, and I had to climb out the window. She's like, she just dropped her mouth like, what the hell? And she didn't ask me a bunch of questions anymore. So, all right, I got something else I want to talk about. I know this is y'all's show, but I sit and listen to it all the time. So the word runt, okay? Runt. Okay, so my family always used it differently. Y'all use it. I don't know if y'all have ever used it this way, but we always talked about mainly food.
Yeah.
Like if you ate a bunch of food and it gave you like the puking craps, then that food was runt. And my dad, he would eat like 8 pieces of fish and his stomach would hurt, and you'd wonder why his stomach hurt. He ate fucking 8 pieces of fish. And he would say, that food is runt. That's runt. And we joke about it all the time, me and my wife. I always tell her not to eat something, you know, like something I really want. Don't eat that gravy in there, you know, it's runt. But y'all use it totally different way, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, well, hold on. Here would explain it.
That ain't country. I'll kiss your ass.
Yeah, it's just an old Southern saying. And to us, I think we kind of grew up the same way. It was just for anything that was just ruined. Like anything that might be ruined or, you know, or broken, it was always just runt.
That shit runt. Throw it in the garbage.
No good in there. You just runt. You just runt your tape right there, you know. and it'd be like my grandmother back when, you know, we used to rent these video games for NES. Make sure you turn that tape back in. You rewind it now before you turn it back in. You're going to rent your subscription up there at the video store. So anything could be runt. And it's actually a word that Josh, I'll give Josh all the credit. Josh started bringing it back up because in high school, like I have forgotten about a lot of these old sayings and stuff because when I started getting into high school, I knew I wanted to be involved in either wrestling or some kind of media to where I talk. So I tried my best to curb my Southern accents and my Southern sayings. We had a friend that came by the episode where Josh kind of lost his mind the first time.
No, he didn't. And it was clear. Everything he said was crystal clear, Josh. I understood it.
And we mentioned a washing machine, and he's like, "That's not the way you say it here. It's supposed to be
That's
washer.
Right.
It's supposed to be washer."
That's the washer.
And I remember
my mama is still here. Let me tell you a washing story, okay? So I worked in hotel business as a night manager for like 5 years, and somebody called down and they wanted me to bring in up a towel. And I said, all right, cool. What size? And this guy, you know, he's from like Minnesota or something. He's like, I want a face towel. And I was like, what's a fucking face towel, you know? So I go into where all the laundry is, and I'm looking at the towel. So I look at one towel, and it's huge. It's what I call a beach towel. Then there's the regular towel. And then there's one that's, you know, like 2 sizes when it comes to a wash rag. It's 2 sizes the wash rag. I don't know what kind of towel that is. But then there's so I'm thinking to myself, the face towel's got to be the smallest towel. So I say out loud in the hotel, in the room by myself, that's a fucking wash rag.
A wash rag.
Wash rag. And then I took it to him. And so there's all kinds of – the Southern thing is we talk about it at work because I deal with people. I work from home, and we have communication with everybody from all over the United States. And Do you guys cut your lights on and off? Do you cut the lights off?
We flick them off.
Oh, flick them off.
Flip
Do
'em
you
off.
cut them on though? Do you ever cut them on?
Oh yeah, cut them on, flip them off.
Cut the lights off. See, that's
I
something.
never even
totally
thought about
different.
that.
What about sody? Do you drink sody?
Coke.
No. Coke.
Everything's Coke.
Everything's Coke.
See, we drink, and I don't know if that's just my area or just my mother, but she drinks sody. You put stuff in a counter.
Kerner. Yeah. I was trying to think of some other ones, but I'm blanking right now.
The one we've talked about before is fixing to.
Yeah,
You don't to do
you don't.
something.
You don't. Yeah, fixing. Everything's fixing.
I said that in front of Uncle Danny and Julie just, I'm fixing to. I said, what? What do you say?
It does.
I'm about to. I'm like, oh shit.
It does when you think about it. It does seem like you're about to pop out of the corn on hee haw whenever you say stuff like that, and you feel like anytime somebody corrects you, you feel like the biggest oh, we're gonna go down to the store, giggity, let's go. You feel like that southern stereotype, and you're like, fuck, I can't believe I did that.
I should have
I do
fucking
that
banjos
when
playing.
I do like classes sometimes, so I'm doing this class and I'm telling if you want to, but I catch myself really a lot. So if you don't, and I'm like, but fix it up. I'll never get rid of that. I got rid of a lot of stuff, like you said. I went to college and then found out, there wasn't a fucking word whoosh, or sody or counter. There was no counter around.
Well,
my oldest daughter, you should hear her talk. She's born and raised in the same area, but it actually lives in Memphis now, and she spent a lot of time getting that southern accent away.
I've got a buddy that was in the Marines, and he said he had one of those moments where it was like one of those oh crap moments. So they were walking. They were in D.C. at the time, and it was real cold, and said they were fixing to leave. He goes, hold on, I got to get my toboggan. And he ran upstairs, and he came back down there like, what the fuck was that? He's like, what? He's like, we thought you were going to go get a fucking sled. A toboggan's a sled, motherfucker.
I'm just now learning that.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, toboggan is a sled, but see, in the South, we always called a toboggan like a beanie or a hat like that.
Yeah.
Right. My grandmother and my mother actually made, handmade yarn with yarn and everything with crochet is what they would do. Toboggans.
Jim Crochet?
They were, crochet. Yeah.
What
Is it?
did you do?
Oh, crochet.
Yeah. Like Jim Croce?
Yeah, no, that's wrong, guys.
But
Close enough.
I don't know how much of this is bullshit, but when we were
Probably all of it.
Probably. Me and my wife were hanging out one night with some friends, and they had this buddy that visited them from London. And he just thought it was so cool that, we liked a lot of the same things as him, he's like, oh, y'all talk about that too? Oh, that's big over, that's awesome, and wrestling and stuff like that. Well, he was telling me, he said, in the South, a lot of people from England like to come to the South because the dialects are similar. He said the Southern accent is actually derived from basic, the basic Queen's English, the way they pronounce things. And I was like, that makes sense because they add R's to stuff as well. Like they'll say lar, there's no lar about it, for like a law, and there's certain little words that he was pointing out. They're just derived from English. So if anything, the people from the North, the Yankees, have bastardized the English language and forgot where they came from.
Goddamn aristocrats.
Yeah. And that could
I've never heard that. I have a friend that married a British guy, and man, she is so stuck up, and she has to be her language has to be perfect. I'm gonna have to tell her that now. That'll piss her off. So
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that could be bullshit. So you might want to Google it. I haven't done it.
Probably is.
I haven't, but it made sense because if you think about how many times they add R's to certain words, and it could just be the region of England that this guy was from. I think he was from London. I just picked a London because it was the most well known. It's kind of
English type sounding.
Yeah,
city.
any person from Japan's from Tokyo, Berlin, Germany. That thing.
Yeah, Nazis. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
But
hey, here's the last thing I got to ask y'all about, because this is one of my favorite stories. And I actually wrote it down because if I ever do stand up, like a comedy or something, go in and do, I'm going to do this story because Josh it was so funny, and I don't know if y'all guys even got how funny it was. Was it a lion, a mountain lion, or mountain? What was it now?
It was a mountain lion. I think it was in North Carolina or South Carolina. Where was that at? Oh, it was Colorado.
No, yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, it
or
was
no, Utah.
Okay.
The bastard moved from Arkansas to Utah to kayak and shit.
That's what got me. I know it might be not, politically correct here, what I'm fixing to say, but it sounded like Josh was saying that this guy was, a little feminine, and he didn't believe anything he said, so he didn't even watch the video. So all I'm thinking is this guy's on the video going, "Oh my God, I love kayaking,"
with a pink bandana on his neck.
And what I did was I was running, I was jogging, and then I killed him. So I'm cracking up thinking, well, Josh didn't even watch it. Josh, you go, he killed him? What? And I'm like,
I didn't know, for real. I got pissed off. That's a shoot, dude. I got so pissed off watching that bastard give an infomercial about Utah and why he was so bored living in Arkansas, and the way he was talking about, I just wanted to enjoy the outdoors, and I was like, yeah, and your ass got ate by a lion.
You didn't think that he was like still alive and talking on the interview.
Well, no, I'm just saying, you see what happens. You want to be outdoorsy, and then you're crying about having to fight a mountain lion. That's what happened.
Crying. He was crying that he killed it.
But he was so pussyfied sounding, is what I call it,
Pussyfied sounding.
And then I'm thinking, this is the baddest motherfucker we've ever seen. And I'm laughing. And then, of all things, you guys did not even tell your listeners, this motherfucker came out, that was a fucking kitten.
No, we told him. We talked about it on that episode. We said it was
did y'all?
Yeah.
I didn't think y'all figured out it was a kitten.
No.
I looked at it.
And still, we're talking about a 40-pound mountain lion. I mean,
it was a kitten though.
And we're sitting there talking, and I put it on Twitter. I was like, "Look, Josh has got a runt toe. I've got a runt back. I know you probably got your problems too. Y'all gonna sit here and act like we gonna be victorious over a mountain lion, even if it was 40 pounds."
It was a kitten.
Yeah, 40-pound mountain lion. I ain't fucking with it. I'm gonna cross the street. I'm not even gonna stand on that side of the road. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, I got the biggest laugh. I told my wife. I told her the story, and I told her that a comedian said. I did the whole thing with like it was a stand-up, and she was dying. She goes, "Oh my God!" I said, "No, that's a fucking true story." I said, I can't believe that that he killed the lion. He says he stood on. Yep. I was cracking up because he said he was standing on it and it went limp. And I was like, "Motherfucker killed it!" Yeah. Man, what the hell? I'm scared of this guy now.
He was standing on it, preparing himself for the second battle. And he's like, I know as soon as I let my foot, he's dead. It's like, this motherfucker's gone. I'm going to be honest with you, though, man. I ain't fighting any kind of animal in the wild. I walk down the street here, and Bemis is known for squirrels. I had a squirrel about 2 feet from me the other day, and I jumped like, fuck that. I am not getting hit by a rabid squirrel in this neighborhood.
The hell? Scared of a goddamn squirrel.
Have you ever, speaking of, have you ever eat squirrel?
I have. My grandmother used to keep them frozen in the freezer, and I think
that's right. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah, I've ate squirrel, rabbit, deer, raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, we were always scared to go in that freezer because it was like a freezer of death. All I wanted was a ice cream bar, and I saw a frozen rat with his face like it was like fucking Jeffrey Dahmer of the squirrel community.
Yeah, I know. That's the way I had rabbit, squirrel in the freezer at all times, and then my parents were they had marijuana in the. I guess that's what I call it, marijuana, but some people call it weed. So, but they had it in the freezer. My dad was told that if he put it in the freezer, it would stay fresh. So here he is with like these big Ziploc bags full of weed in the freezer. So
there's that new strain called Freezer Burn. Come on, man, you ain't never had no Freezer Burn before. Come on, try some of this. It's called Freezer Burn. No, yeah, I mean we would have that too. We had that, everything. My grandfather one time froze.
My granny kept money in the freezer.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's probably more, like if you knew what was on money, like we don't talk about what my wife does, but but she knows some people and she's connected in a world that where she was like, yeah, they did test on some local money and it had like coke, fentanyl, traces of all this stuff on it. And you're like, man, because my daughter was putting money in her mouth. She's like, don't ever do that.
Yeah, you know, they did a study on these new, because, you know, everyone's pissed at McDonald's now, you know, because McDonald's won't McDonald's has those kiosks now, you know, so you order your food and then go up. I actually love them because most of the time there's these, you know, dumbass motherfuckers that try to wait on you that when you say Big Mac, they don't even know what a Big Mac is. But they did a study, and you know it had to be these people that hate them, that there's fecal matter on all those kiosks. So
did you ever see that Mythbusters where they were basically like everything in your bathroom has shit on it from flushing the toilet? And if you look at that and you're like, you know, and even the what is it, the FDA or FDA, they have an acceptable level of things like fecal matter and rat hair and stuff like that are in your food. And if as long as it don't hit that critical mass of one rat hair too many, FDA approved, you
send her on down.
Yep. So
well, do you guys take your phones to the toilet with you?
Yeah, all the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so there's no telling, you know, that's the thing about it. We never think about things like, you know, my phone and podcast is, you know, is turned in from, I used to look at magazines, you know, or take a dump looking at the back of the shampoo bottle. I mean, how many times, you know the fucking ingredients of shampoo.
Yeah.
But now it's the phone, or I'm listening to a podcast, you know. That's my favorite place to listen to y'all's podcast, by the way.
It makes you wonder if in the future, if technology for screen technology will get so cheap that the shampoo and conditioner companies will try to up their game and put like little screen technology on it so it'll like play ads and stuff that'll intrigue you to read their stuff while you're shitting. Do you ever have that freak out moment whenever you're, you know, somebody looks at your, you know, can I use your phone? And you're like, oh, God.
No, it don't bother me.
It doesn't bother
I just look at them and I say, you know, I just took in my mind, I just took a dump, you know, and I was holding it. Or I had it at the QT. That's what we have here is QTs in St. Louis, or quick time market little thing. I go in there and take a shit and I put it on the toilet paper thing. Here's something I want to talk about with you guys that I just thought about as I said toilet paper thing. What is y'all's preferred location of toilet paper?
It's good that you reference toilet paper and us. That's flattering.
No, I mean, think about this. You know, we move into this apartment and in St. Louis, and I have to reach. It feels like I'm reaching fucking 50 miles across in front of me to get the toilet paper. No, I don't have a mirror like Josh did. But and then like you go into a public restroom and you sit down and the toilet paper is almost against your left leg.
Yeah.
And you can't get to it. When I build a house, my preferred toilet paper is always the handicap toilet paper. Like they have it high up and you can like get to it real easy. I mean, have y'all ever thought about that?
Well, my go-to place for the toilet paper, we have a toilet paper caddy where it's one of them deals where you just sit it in the floor, you stack maybe 4 rolls in the bastard, and then you move it at your discretion. So that bad boy's rolling around sometimes from the dog being in there, hitting it with her.
Richard, why did you tell me Josh was fancy? See, you're trying to be fancy.
I've got one too. I just thought that's the way we lived.
Oh, good God. I got to go now. Yeah.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. And the other thing is that how the toilet paper is positioned. Like, does the toilet paper come from the bottom or does it come from the top? You know, if you flip the toilet paper one way, it rolls from like the top down. And if you flip it the other way, it rolls from the back. No, it does matter. it does matter.
It doesn't matter to me, but it does matter to other people. We are, me and the wife are a top. It rolls from the top. That's what we do.
That's what I do. And if you ever meet somebody that does it the opposite way, it will ruin your you'll look at them differently. You will judge the shit out of them and be like, I'm never visiting these fuckers are weird. They're burnt.
Motherfuckers are
They burnt people. Them people burnt.
Well, man, I tell you what, we are getting to about the maximum limit of our show. Man, I want to say thank you for, hold on, let me.
I got bronchitis.
There we go.
Good God. I meant to ask about that.
25.
Because, you didn't say it. I still got one last question.
Yeah.
Say about broadcast 500 times. But I want you to give me an update because for some reason you keep kayfabing me and all your listeners. I want to hear about the turf toe. Come on.
Who,
now
for
I'm
me?
sitting here waiting.
Honestly, I don't know if it's turf toe or gout. It's been better.
He got real serious, Josh. Did you hear him? You think I really give a
I
shit
wish it
about
was a
that?
video call because you should have seen his eyes. It lit up.
I-
He's like, this motherfucker wants to know about my turf toe.
Well, it's nice to know
He
people
was so
care,
happy.
But it's between gout and turf toe, and I'm hoping that but I think it's gout, and it scared the heck out of me over Christmas break because it was like throbbing. I'm like, this ain't turf toe. I hadn't done shit. There's
It's
no reason.
not good when your toe just sits and throbs for no reason. You didn't run into Jack Daniels. Do y'all know the story of Jack Daniels?
I know Jack very well.
Yeah, the story of Josh and Jack Daniels ended with him on his lawn and me ripping a pair of pants.
Jack got mad and kicked a safe, broke his toe, and he was drinking so much. This is not bullshit. This is for shoot. He was drinking so much whiskey that he didn't know he broke his toe. He got gangrene and he died.
Holy shit.
So see,
that is the story. Yeah, that's the story they tell at the the Jack Daniels place. I had a friend that worked there, and we went to, and they had a life-size statue of Jack Daniels, and this guy was very close to being a midget. I mean, he was that small. The guy was.
So here's
But yeah, he died from gangrene.
I
so.
thought you got gangrene when you had like a cut, like an infection.
Okay, it's a damn good story. Don't fuck it up.
He must kick the fuck out of that safe.
Does that look compound to you? I don't know. That might be a compound fracture. Fuck it. I'll be okay.
I don't feel it.
I don't think it's broke.
Oh, give me some
Well,
more of that whiskey.
I know Josh knows this, but when you're high or you're drunk and you like cut your finger or something, finger, cut your finger, and you don't feel it, man. You go, well, I'm bleeding, and then the next morning's when it hurts so bad. So yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like that was one of those lines of get high on your own supply. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. But no, man, what I was going to say was, you do a great job on your shows. We listen to them when we can. I know with me and Josh running through, we try to listen to as much stuff as we can, but I've been a real big fan of the What the Fuck podcast that you've been doing. And I do like the fact that you gave us that shout out this week. Or 2-3 weeks ago, whenever this airs. And to be honest, when you were about to give us that shout out, I thought that you were going to be mentioning the little backyard wrestling thing that me and Josh did with the Trailer Park Bandit and Pathetic Warrior. I thought that was going to be, listen to this bullshit, Lance. This guy used a fucking tinfoil pan. But no, man. And they drew as many people as Bert. But no.
I know, Lance was having some problems with Twitter that weekend, and I know y'all thought he got pissed, but no, he don't. Man, he throws shit over and over and over, and Lance sometimes makes where I have to go, man, I'm tired of hearing that joke. I mean, we've been friends for 30 years, so you're able to say shit to people like that. So,
yeah.
And no, he actually got attacked for something he said on Twitter about the Oscars.
Really?
Or the Grammys. He said something about one of the Grammy artists. We're old guys. We're 50-something years old. We didn't know who any rap guys were. And he said something about that guy looked like he should be in jail instead of on the Grammys. And gosh, he got death threats and you name it.
Damn.
And he had to take down his Twitter because he just said he didn't want to deal with it. It was nuts.
Yeah, I tell you, man, Twitter can be the best thing and the worst thing all wrapped into one, and you never know it's not a smart bomb. You never know who's going to be listening or seeing or watching. So, but I tell you, I've really enjoyed that show recently and everything, and I plan on listening to it when I drive down to New Orleans here in a few weeks to go on our cruise, and I've really been enjoying it. But I tell you, tell everybody how they can hear your show and where they can get it and what shows you would recommend for them listening to on your podcast.
Do, the Shooting the Shiznit is just me sitting down talking. And I used to do the Probe the Pod. It's where I actually have clips. We done that episode with you guys. But really, it's just sitting down and I find somebody like we had a wrestler in the St. Louis area by the name of Gary J. So I seen him on Twitter. He actually reached out, which is kind of fun when they start reaching out to you, and said, "Hey, I'll be on your podcast. It seems to be a fun show." Blah blah blah. We have Dustin Starr coming up, who's a longtime friend of both of ours. This Tuesday, or I don't even know if it'll be, but we actually have the Ref from TNA Impact. You guys have probably seen him if y'all have seen the show, where he's real young. He looks like he's 12 years old. So I just laughed for almost a year talking about, he's not old enough to be in a ring and all this kind of stuff. We actually had him on in the and then had him on for Patreon for like 30 minutes afterwards, which I don't do, but a 30-minute show. So it was fun. We just have people in the wrestling business I find interesting, and I want to talk to them. I had some people from MLW, and then we got people like, I had Rod Dent III, who was some guy that wrestled.
Yeah, I remember
with
Rod.
Me. Yeah. And so, I mean, you just it just hitting old friends I'll bring in, or just somebody that I find interesting. Then we have the what the fuck is 10 stories either in MMA or wrestling for the month before. So February we do it in March, we do the February show, and like I said, you would never think that you would get the craziest stories in wrestling or MMA. There's always somebody trying to kill somebody from an MMA fighter, or there's naked pictures, or there's, we've had the first 2 episodes of this year, the January and February, has been, well, I'm not going to say who, but I'm going to say she's the top one on both of them. It's an indie girl that does some really crazy stuff. We had a girl this month. She didn't even make it to the list. She was selling pictures of her poop. So how do you not make the list and do that? And then, like I said, we do that with Gene. But you can go to, it's all the stuff. Mainly Apple, SoundCloud, anything that you can play, an app that you can play a podcast on. All you got to do is do the search, Shooting the Shiznit. You'll get it with the G or without the G. And then we put them all on that same feed. And this month, before the end of the month, we'll be celebrating our 200th episode. So I'm real fired up about that. And we got one of our longtime guests is supposed to be recording with me tomorrow. He's the biggest downloads ever. And Kenny, Star Maker Boland's coming back. And he's got a bunch of stuff going on. So it'll be interesting to see. He's been over a year since he's been with us, so it should be fun.
Well, I tell you, BT was one of those people. I don't think I've mentioned this on the air. BT was one of those people. He was one of the most influential people when we said we were going to start a podcast that really helped us out. He basically showed us how to get everything uploaded, showed us where to go, what to do, gave us some great advice, and he still hits us up and says, hey, you guys should do this. And a lot of times he helps us out with ideas for promoting and stuff, and it's made a big difference. So if you enjoy our show and you've liked what we were doing, check his show out, because like I said, I don't even know, I'm good at technology, but I don't even know if I would have figured it all out if I wouldn't have had him to lean on when we were first starting to do this, Josh. So if you enjoy our show, definitely go subscribe to his show, because it is a great listen, especially if you enjoy wrestling.
Thank you very much.
Well, Josh.
Guys, I got to go. I got to go wash my clothes.
All right, so you're going to go wash your clothes. Thank you for being a part of P3 Radio today, Josh. If they want to check out our show on Twitter or Facebook or give us a call, how do they do that?
Well, on Twitter, we are at P3 Radio, the number 1. And on Facebook, go to the search bar, type in Pop Poncho, you'll see our picture. And if you want to reach out to us, leave us a voice message or text us and tell us how good or bad we are, or you want to prank us or whatever. We are 731-300-6675. That's 24 hours.
And, of course, if you want to listen to some of our archives, interviews with people like Bill Dundee, Bobby Eaton, or this one, the one we did back in November with BT is on there. Go to anywhere you find your fine podcast, type in P3 Radio, all one word. You can check it out there, and maybe you'll find something else you like in our genre. That's going to about do it for us, Josh. Next week will be the last of our pre-recorded shows. I should be back from our cruise, and maybe get some updates on the cruise, see how it went, and do a little talk about that. But for now, For Josh Brawley, this is Richard Mulliken saying thanks and good night.